Fly run today. Here, Mace. Good. Switch this thing around, eh? No, right up in the area. Now comes the fun part. Getting up this hill. Ain't a big hill, but it's a pretty heavy sled. Now to unload it. Hey, good day. We are just about to leave the tree line and enter the land of Oz. The flying monkeys, but I have seen flying moose up here. Anyway, I'm making making my way back from a supply run to town in Palmer. I'm nearly out of beer and nearly out of dog food, so I had to go to town. So anytime at before I go ahead and get into that, right, so I was in the Talkeetna Mountains, right there, down, I don't know if you can see the Matanuska River there, just about ready to come into Wolverine Canyon. So anytime I go to town, I always throw any empty containers that I got in the back, and the spring where I get my water is on the way back to the place. So I'll always stop there and get some water. And I thought I'd take you with me, so you can see part of the we are just about ready to drop down into Wolverine Canyon. So that's the Chugach Mountains in the background there. We're gonna head down Wolverine Canyon. Now it's actually warmed up to like a balmy 20, so it's pretty nice. Really nice, and it's sure good to see that sun and not have any wind too. So that peak there, the highest peak right there, that's Matanuska Peak. Well, I'll tell you, this canyon can get pretty dodgy in the wintertime. It's steep on both sides. But the last 2 years, the state rebuilt these roads in here, and before that, you were hugging the kind of the side of the hillside, because both the north and south end of this road was kind of sliding off into the canyon, and well, I figured it was going to end up in the Cook Inlet at some point in time. So now we're going to cross Wolverine Creek, and we're going to go hit the spring. Here's the creek, and we're coming up the spring. And this spring, this is the first time in 4 winters that I've got water here that it hasn't froze, although pipes coming out of it froze and broke here like 2 weeks ago, so that's made it a long ways. It's going to make it up, but I gotta go up that hill a little bit and fill up a couple of containers of water. So I'll switch it around and we'll get water. All right, there's a spring, and you see the reality of living, some of the reality of living off grid. Which this spring, actually, there's quite a few folks that rely on this spring for water, and most of the time they have 250 or more gallon containers that they back into here and fill it up with a hose, but they can't do that right now. So with the pipe getting broke, I gotta hike through that snow a little bit, get water. So I'll just take you with me on that, and hopefully I don't fall into the snow bank here. It got pretty dang cold last night, so you're going to be able to get a good look at the why I said it didn't froze up this year. It was pretty amazing. So let's see if I can switch this thing around. So pipe there that runs on down, and they usually have a big pipe, flexible pipe that folks can put in their in the big tanks in the back of the trucks, right? But this was running pretty steady here just a few days ago. I went and got water, so I got 10 gallons of water at the palace. But anytime I go and buy this spring and come back in town, I'll tank her up, right? So you can see they're good ice. So we'll get this locked off. Water. So up here, 10 gallons would probably last me probably 2 weeks if I don't bathe. If I bathe, maybe I'll get a week. And if you got livestock, that's a serious problem. Got some process going here. Water's a real bugger in the wintertime. You would think you'd be able to melt snow, all right, but half the time up here the wind just blows the snow all away, and the snow is so bloody dirty. I wouldn't give it to my livestock. Living off grid. Water. Heading up now. We're about 2 miles from my place. This can be not a whole lot of fun in the winter time. Looks pretty dang good right now. It's like, yeah, it's 20 degrees. The sun is shining. Now we are in the Wolverine. That was Wolverine Creek we passed. Wolverine Lake's like 2 miles up ahead of us. Yep, the reality of off-grid living. There's a lot of times you gotta prepare for the inevitable. There are going to be just times you cannot get to where you need to go. If you run out of stuff, you are out of stuff, and you've got to be kind of prepared for that. You know, water is a big one, right? So it's like one of the biggest, right? It dictates how you do things. Your water supply dictates how you do things with just things like washing, for one thing. Like how many times you get to bathe over the winter, or even washing dishes and washing clothes. You know, that's all. They all use a lot of water. So when you're pretty restricted, just like in the winter, you've got to be pretty dang careful with it. So in the summertime, though, I've got several 55-gallon drums that are food grade that I go and I get enough water and it can last like 2 months without having to go back to the spring. But it freezes up about non-usable from late October to April. So it's like smaller 5-gallon, 7-gallon jugs, or 1-gallon jugs. That's the modus operandus right now. Welcome to the Wolverine. You're only going to come on down. I'm just going to take you with me to my place. So you just kind of see the country. It snowed pretty good, but like a week ago, the state usually gets here and plows about 4 or 5 days after the snow. I live off the side road off of this, and sometimes it takes them a week to get there. But then I got to dig myself out too sometimes. So sometimes you got to plan for staying a couple of months without being able to get out. So you can see, right? I don't live remote, but I live pretty damn rural. So the bush is, if I would have just gone a little bit further and hung to the right, turned to the right, I'd have been out in the bush. And, so it's like in my back door, my backyard. Excuse me. So, we're just about to make the break over to my side of this hill. Rancho Deluxe. Home sweet home. You see Sal. it'd be nice to have equipment, but you know, some folks just don't have equipment, like me. So you gotta shovel it out and just wing it. Right? So anyway, we're home. Cheers. Storing water is an issue off grid, no matter what time of year. But in the winter time, it can be a really big issue. So I had this brilliant idea, or at least I was brilliant at the time, I thought, and I built this box, and there's a 55-gallon food grade barrel inside there. A friend of mine put a spigot on the bottom end of it, and I drilled a hole in the side of the palace and ran it through there, which I'll show you in just a second. I've got another food grade 55-gallon drum that I filled up at that spring that I showed you earlier, and then I again backed that truck up to the base of the hill, and I got a 12-volt little pump, and I run a 100-foot hose, and I can fill this thing, right? And when I first built it, right, I had a insulated cover on it, and I thought I had it pretty well weighted down, but the Mountain East Go In just took it away, and it's probably in the cook inlet right now. So the idea was, of course, to insulate it, and that the heat from the palace would help keep it from freezing. Well, it didn't work out quite like I had hoped, but it does give me about another extra 2 weeks probably from freeze up before I can't use it, and then usually about 2 weeks from breakup, and we're about 2 weeks away from breakup right here right now. So yeah, but there's like 5 months there that I can't use it. I have to store water right inside the palace, which is just, it's kind of tight to begin with. So you add another 10, 15 gallons of water in there, man, it gets pretty tight for 5 months out of the year. Anyway, I'm gonna go inside. Let's see if we got some water. Cheers. So, there it is. Right, so here comes the moment of truth. Let's see if we get some water out of this. Well, a little bit. I don't think it's gonna go very far. It's not much, but well, another couple of weeks, that should be unthawed. We got a little drizzle, and that's what we got. And then here it is at the end of near the end of March. Anyway, talk to you later, mate.